They sell meatball sandwiches. Best I've ever tasted. Would you go get me two?
There's no denying that sandwiches are one of the tastiest foods to ever grace our stomachs. With endless ingredients and countless possibilities, it can be hard to find the one that sweeps you off your feet. So here are the top 10 greatest sandwiches of all time in America. Part 2. Monte Cristo Sandwich.
This is the greatest sandwich I've ever made!
As Americans, we like to go all out in everything we do, especially when it comes to food. Whether it's the portion sizes, the flavors, or the odd combinations, we always give our 100%. But one thing we like to do above all else is fry stuff. And the Monte Cristo sandwich is the perfect example of just that. The Monte Cristo is a ham and cheese sandwich, like the croque monsieur in France, but with a little added bit of pep. It's dipped in an egg batter, then fried in a skillet and topped with powdered sugar. Oh, it also comes with a little side of jelly to dip your sandwich in, just to give it an even more Americanized feel to it.
Oh, say, can you see?
After being served for the first time in Southern California in the 1950s, the Monte Cristo quickly gained popularity and is still considered a very popular sandwich to this day.
Now, should we have served that sandwich?
Tuna melt sandwich.
What's going on?
I made a favorite, tuna sandwich with pickle.
When you think about it, tuna melts have never been really exciting, but it has been a lunchbox classic for decades, so it must be doing something right. The tuna melt sandwich was allegedly invented in Charleston, South Carolina at a Woolworth's lunch counter in the 1960s, when an order for a grilled cheese sandwich had a little twist. According to one historian, the lunch ladies received some instructions to make the usual grilled cheese on white bread with a smear of mayo. But when a freshly made tuna salad, dangling precariously on a shelf over the grill, tipped over, falling on the grilled cheese, a new sandwich was born. The tuna melt. Another story claims it was invented by Kraft to prove the versatility of Velveeta cheese. Well, either way, tuna melts are here and they're here to stay. Tuna salad, mayo, and cheese. That's all you need to make the perfect tuna melt. But the real secret? Choose your bread wisely. The crispier, the better. And don't forget to actually melt the cheese. It is a tuna melt after all, and it truly makes a difference.
Can make a difference.
Meatball Sub Sandwich.
This is the greatest sandwich in the world!
If there's one sandwich out there that smells just so dang irresistible, it's the Meatball Sub. Those delectable, juicy meatballs, flavorful red sauce, and an abundance of mild cheeses, all in an Italian-style bread, just hit all the right spots. The beginnings of this iconic sub are still unknown to this day, but we can all agree that whoever had the bright idea to put meatballs in a sandwich was a genius.
Did you just say genius?
Just like the Reuben, it's become a major part of the deli scene and is considered an American staple in many states. This Italian-American hero has many variations, from the meatballs to the type of cheese you put inside, so you can create your very own personal delicious sub. No matter if you choose pork or beef, mozzarella or provolone, they all give off the same rich, tempting, and appetizing smell. If half the taste is in the smell, then just imagine how incredible this sandwich must taste.
Utah, give me 2.
Lobster Roll.
We have to stop and see what they've done to the lobster roll.
Lobster rolls are arguably one of the best seafood sandwiches ever to exist. If New England could be put on a bun, the lobster roll would be it. No matter if you're team mayo from Maine or butter from Connecticut, you can't argue that a lobster roll is nothing without its key element, good lobster. Without it, a lobster roll is merely decent at best. If there's one thing the two warring states can agree on, it's this. The traditional lobster roll, which was first served at a Milford, Connecticut seafood restaurant called Perry's in 1929, contains the tail, knuckle, and claw meat served hot on a steam-split hot dog bun tossed with a little melted butter. The main version is the same lobster meat, only served cold, on a slightly toasted bun and mixed with mayo instead of butter. Of course, many variations of this sandwich now exist, and the recipes all differ. Some may add celery or lettuce as toppings, like the one McDonald's now serves in certain locations. But the true rolls only only have eyes for the star of the show, the lobster.
I thought lobster upset your stomach.
I dipped it in pesto bismol.
Po' boy sandwich.
You ever done Elise's po' boy? Oh, po' boy, it's good.
If you're from the South, chances are you already know all about po' boy sandwiches. You probably devoured one of these bad boys any chance you got and have declared it one of the best sandwiches ever, and for good reason. For those unfamiliar with this New Orleans delicacy, you're in for a treat. The po' boy is a traditional type of sandwich from Louisiana served on French bread. The fillings? It's all up to you, but the most commonly found meats are roast beef or fried seafood like shrimp, oysters, or even crab.
Do you like seafood? I know a good seafood place.
Add in some mayo, shredded lettuce, tomatoes, and pickles, and you have got yourself the perfect classic po' boy that's been winning people over since the late 1920s. This delicious concoction was created during a transit strike that was ravaging the town at the time. Two brothers, Benny and Clovis Martin, wanted to show solidarity and pledged to give the streetcar conductors free meals until the strike was over. Now you can enjoy a po' boy almost anywhere in the US, and it's considered a true culinary gem, but they've definitely lost their free status. If the waitstaff asks you if you want it dressed, just say yes and then enjoy the tastiness to its fullest.
Okay, I think we're ready for a practice sandwich.
Sounds good, boss.
Hot chicken sandwich.
I finally did it. Popeye's new chicken sandwich.
Known today as a Nashville icon, the hot chicken got its humble beginnings in the 1930s. Legend has it, a scorned woman was seeking revenge on her significant other, Thornton Prince, for being kind of a womanizing playboy. To punish him, she decided to mess with his favorite breakfast by dousing his chicken with cayenne pepper and spices.
Them peppers is like hot.
Hoping it would be inedible. But unfortunately for her, but yay for us, the complete opposite happened. Prince ended up loving it and eventually opened up his own restaurant, Prince's Hot Chicken Shack, where he sold the hot chicken sandwich. The restaurant is still open to this day and is run by Prince's great niece. The chicken is usually marinated in buttermilk, pan-fried, and smothered in a cayenne pepper paste, and then served in between two buns. And you can't forget the pickle chips. You also get the choice of sauce from mild to extra hot, but a word of advice, if you're a beginner to the spice world, you might want to stick to mild. Not everyone can turn a sneaky attack into a masterpiece. Revenge is a dish best served hot and spicy, apparently.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I always react this way to spicy food.
French dip sandwich.
Today was National French Dip Day.
While this sandwich is literally called a French dip, it's not French at all. Well, except for the bread. It's actually from Los Angeles and was created in the early 20th century. It's a hot sandwich that consists of thinly sliced beef served on a baguette with a side of beef broth called au jus for dipping, hence the name French dip. Today, you can make this sandwich with basically any meat you want, like pork, turkey, and even lamb. There's only one golden rule. It needs that little cup of broth to dip it in. It's imperative. Otherwise, you're free to go with the flow and put whatever you want in it.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
There are two restaurants in Southern California that are trying to claim ownership of this delicious sandwich: Cole's, a trendy and sophisticated eatery, and Phillips, an old-school diner in Chinatown. The invention of the French dip sandwich is one of LA's most contested culinary legends to this day. But one thing is for sure, though, it is ridiculously good. It's basically like chips and dip, but reinvented, and a little messier.
Sometimes the truth can get messy.
Reuben Sandwich.
What's the special? It's the Reuben.
Who doesn't love a big, giant pile of corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and pickles, all sandwiched in between two pieces of rye bread and accompanied with a tangy Russian dressing? Just like most of the previous sandwiches we've mentioned, this ingenious creation has a lot of different origin stories, each more likely to be less true than the last, but we can't deny its extreme tie with the New York deli experience.
A profound life experience.
A man named Arnold Reuben allegedly invented the Reuben at his sandwich shop on East 58th Street in 1914. While this sandwich has become an East Coast tradition, some people speculate that it was actually invented in Omaha, Nebraska in the 1920s by Bernard Schimmel, who came up with this sandwich to feed poker players who would meet at his hotel to play. But again, whoever invented this delicacy had a delight on their hands. The Reuben sandwich is a real treat for anyone in search of a little extravagance and a little extra meat. But don't forget to ask for a couple of extra napkins and an extra toothpick to hold everything together. It can get pretty messy if you're not careful.
Reuben sandwich is the only entirely invented sandwich.
Smoked meat sandwich.
Excuse me, would you like to taste my smoked meat log?
Another day, another delicious sandwich filled with deli meats. This one might look familiar as it's fairly similar to our beloved pastrami sandwich, but don't be fooled, it's totally different. This pastrami-looking sandwich comes from our neighbors in Montreal, Quebec. The main difference, though, is that the brisket is smoked all the way through and steamed, which results in juicier and more tender meat. It's also dry-cured in a ton of peppercorn, coriander, mustard seeds, and garlic.
It's just that I'm garlic intolerant.
The smoked meat is typically served on rye bread with mustard and is absurdly gigantic. Some say it stems from Jewish heritage, and others claim it existed even before it was given the moniker of Montreal-style Jewish smoked meat. However, one of the most popular smoked meat sandwich spots in Montreal, Schwartz Deli, was founded by a Jewish immigrant from Romania. So while the meat itself might not necessarily be Jewish, Schwartz was definitely responsible for popularizing the sandwich all across Montreal. Even celebrity singer Celine Dion is part owner of the deli and has often been seen enjoying a nice smoked meat sandwich.
It was my sandwich.
Sloppy Joe Sandwich.
Have some more Sloppy Joes.
Whether you ate it as a kid or as a broke college student, or even if you just enjoy the occasional mess, Sloppy Joes have always been that one sandwich you never seem to get tired of. It's got everything: ground beef, tomato sauce, burger roll, and a lot of mayhem. It's safe to say Sloppy Joes lives up to its name perfectly. It's practically impossible to eat one without getting stuff everywhere. I mean everywhere.
I just wanted someplace private to eat my sandwich.
This sloppy yet delicious sandwich has many origin stories, but 3 remain the most popular. It was either created at a cafe in Sioux City, Iowa, when a man decided to add sauce to his loose meat sandwich, and it immediately became an icon. Others believe it first appeared at Sloppy Joe's Bar in Key West, Florida, or that it was dreamed up in Havana at Sloppy Joe's Saloon. Popularized in the 1930s when money was tight, the simplicity of the ingredients and of the execution made this one an instant success, and it continues to reign over our late-night cravings even today. The sheer deliciousness of the Sloppy Joe sandwich is enough to make you ignore the mess and embrace it instead.
Chris, time for dinner. We're having Sloppy Joes.
Oh boy!
Spice things up with another great video. Just tap or click. Then hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.